Let's start with THAAD and this test, China's take on this deployment. We know that Chinese President Xi brought this up again in forceful terms in Hamburg during bilateral discussions with the U.S. President. Shane Hom also mentioning Moscow not very happy about it. What does it do in terms of relations and the situation on the Korean Peninsula?
Well, we know in the summit in Hamburg, China hit back on Tuesday in strong terms and repeated calls from the U.S. To put more pressure on North Korea, and will say it used a halt to what it called China responsibility theory, and say all parties involved in this issue should pull their weight. So in my view, I think China acted in the right way because first, this trouble is not by China itself. At least China is not the first one should be blamed. America has ample reasons to rethink its own behaviors and strategies. Are they really smart and effective? And secondly, we know China has made every effort to stop King and to promote the denuclearization of the peninsula. So I think now China has the right to say no or say stop.
Talk to me about perceptions, though. You brought it up, this Chinese responsibility theory. We're hearing it from the U.S. president. We're hearing from members of Congress. China somehow has this magical power that can make Pyongyang do what it wants, do its bidding. Talk to us about the actual relationship between Beijing and Pyongyang. What do you think people need to know about that?
Well, I prefer to call it traditionally and nominally military alliance, but now in the process of normalization since the establishment of China-South Korea relations in 1992. Why I say this? First, we know that China, the former Prime Minister of China, Zhou Enlai, signed the Treaty of China DPRK Treaty of Friendship, Cooperation, and Mutual Assistance in 1961. And this treaty will be resigned automatically every 20 years. So the last time is 2001. So it will expire. It will not expire until China or DPRK say no, say stop it. So it will go on, continue and continue. So we call it traditionally and nominally a military alliance. Because if you read the text, you will know, especially the Pact 2 and the Pact 3, you will know this treaty is undoubtedly a text of military alliance. However, if on the other hand, if you read and listen to the latest expression of Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman, you will say you will hear that they call it the DPRK and China relation is traditionally friendship and cooperation. So, and if you regard the ground strategy of China's diplomacy, that you will know that China say no to military alliance. We need partnership rather than alliance. So I think these traditional relations between China and North Korea is in the process of changing.
Talk to me about the solution there on the Korean Peninsula. We know you said all the parties need to pull their own weight. I mean, we keep hearing the same kind of solutions, stronger sanctions, but there's been so many sanctions put in place. We are hearing from the Chinese there needs to be a diplomatic solution, but that seems very far afield as well. What needs to happen to create this, to kind of soften up this logjam, if you will?
Well, as you mentioned, the economic sanctions. The U.S. and Western states made economic sanctions on North Korea for more than half a century. And during recent years, China also joined under the instruction of the UN and made the increase its level of sanctions on DPRK. However, as far as we can see that the sanctions does not always help. And in many cases, we know that the DPRK leaders use the external pressure, external sanctions as the best excuse or reason to persuade the people, the North Korean people, to support him and to promote their targets, including the nuclear program, to what they call it, to enhance their national security and dignity.
Wang
so
Peng.
This is my idea about sanctions.
Wang Peng joining us from Shanghai. Thanks so much.